So another interesting question I have is so we had the first pick this year in the draft and we took Anthony Edwards, but leading up to the draft, I guess we like the general public, we didn't know who we were gonna take. Did the Timberwolves like know before that they were gonna take Anthony Edwards, or was that really like a game time decision as it
It
seemed?
was not a game time decision, Peyton. In fact, Glenn Taylor, I love the access that Glenn grants me and some other reporters. Glenn is great. I mean, Glenn, if anything, says too much. Now, he used to say a lot more than he does now. Some people have gotten in his ear saying,
Tone it down,
a little bit. But Glenn told me last week that they locked in on Anthony a while ago. Now, a good job by the Wolves to create the smoke screens. Like
Right.
I sincerely thought that they were still making up their mind in those final days and even weeks. But per Glenn, and trust me, Glenn would know, it's his team.
Yeah.
They locked in on Anthony weeks upon weeks upon weeks prior to the draft. Like they knew. So even when they went out and saw LaMelo Ball like a week before the draft, that was more to create the smoke screen. And, I'm sure there's something to be said about due diligence just to make sure you've got all this time, the longest pre-draft process in NBA history. Like, why not? Like we can get the FaceTime with them. Why not just take one more meeting? Let's just make sure, let's triple check everything. But really, they locked in on Anthony a long time ago. So, like, they weren't even upset that they couldn't get FaceTime with James Wiseman. That was my guy. Now, I get it. Wiseman and Cat would have been a really weird defensive fit.
Yeah.
And the Wolves couldn't get James's medical records. So I get it. Like, because the number one pick, I mean, that's a $44 million investment.
Yes.
So I personally, if I was running the Wolves, if I was Glenn Taylor, I would not invest $44 million in a guy whose medical records I don't have access to.
Yeah.
I understand that. So it's easy for me to opine and say, yes, James Wiseman was my guy. But I understand why they didn't take him. But I don't think they were all that upset. I mean, they tried to get to Miami and visit with him pre-draft, but it never came to fruition. His agent, by the way, also represents Ricky Rubio. So, like Rubio, when Phoenix made the move for Chris Paul, and his agent was canvassing the league trying to find Ricky a home.
Yeah.
Like the agent was willing to do the Wolves a favor in some ways and helped in some ways facilitate that trade. And the agent felt like, hey, you guys did me the favor by, not taking my guy Wiseman. He didn't want Wiseman here, the agent, for obvious reasons. He looks at Wiseman as a 5.
Yeah.
Wanted Wiseman in Golden State. He didn't want Wiseman to be the number 1 pick, and the Wolves granted that favor, even though the Wolves stylistically weren't going to take Wiseman anyway. It's not how they want to play with 2 bigs. But I can just tell you, I mean, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's an example where, James is represented by a big-time agent, big-time agency, and that agency has Ricky Rubio. And so, that agency helped facilitate Rubio here to Minnesota.
Yeah.